Placing a block underneath your lower back for a deeper stretch. Bringing your right leg in, hug the knee to chest. And then lower your left leg, pointing through both toes. Breathing deep. We'll go ahead and swap out the legs now, so bring your left knee into the chest and take your right leg to the ground, pointing through the toes and breathing deeply. Bringing both feet to the ground, placing your hands on your stomach, and taking a few more breaths here. Gently lift up through the hips to remove the block from your lower back. And then grab a hold of your big toes with your peace fingers and come into happy baby. Feel free to do any movement here that feels comfortable for you and your hips, keeping your lower back firmly planted into the mat and swaying from side to side. Releasing your feet now, coming up into your full plank before coming into tabletop position. Coming through for your cat-cow. Inhale, eye gaze up. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, move through, eye gaze up. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale. And exhale. Coming through to neutral, tucking your toes and push back through the hips into your first downward facing dog. Any movement that feels comfortable for you here, moving through the legs, swaying through the hips, making sure your hands are planted firmly into the ground, fingers spread nice and wide. Bring your right foot in between the hands and lower the back knee. Untuck your toes into your low lunge. Inhale the arms to rise, and then exhale, take your right hand to the back leg and come into a side stretch here, deepening through the left hip. And then placing both hands on the mat, tucking the back toes, we'll go over to the other side. Left foot comes forward, right knee comes down, untuck the toes. Inhale, arms to rise. Exhale, take the left hand to your back leg this time. And side stretch over to the left, deepening through the right hip. Coming back through to center. Tuck the back toes, knee comes up. And then come forward this time. Heel toe your feet to either side of the mat and come into your ragdoll. Grabbing your elbows with each hand, swaying from side to side. Heel toe your feet back to center and roll up through the spine. Bringing your right knee in, hug it to the chest, keeping this theme through the class. Grab your toe with your peace fingers and straighten the front leg. Coming back to warrior 3. Point your toes to the ground, energy through the heel, nice flat back. Then coming back through to your 3-legged dog, left leg comes up. Stepping that through in between the hands. Placing both hands on the inner edge of your left foot, and if it's comfortable for you, feel free to come to your forearms. Coming back up onto the hands, take your left leg back, high plank, inhale, exhale chaturanga, inhale through to up dog, exhale push back into your downward facing dog. Breathe here. Simply walking to the top of the mat, moving over to the opposite side. Rolling up through the spine, picking up the left knee, hugging it into the chest and pointing through the toes. Grabbing your big toe with your peace fingers and straightening out the left leg. Moving through to your warrior 3. Energy comes through the left heel, pointing the toes to the mat, straightening out through your back. Don't worry, we all wobble. Grounding your left foot and picking up the right up into your 3-legged dog. Keeping the hips nice and square here, bring that foot forward in between the hands. Both hands come to the inner edge of your right foot and feel free to come onto your forearms. Don't forget, each side can be different here. That's completely normal. So maybe you do the same on both sides and maybe you don't. That's completely fine. Coming up onto your hands, take your right foot back to high plank, inhale, exhale to chaturanga, inhale through to up dog, and exhale push back into your downward facing dog. Few breaths. Firing up through the core, inhale your right leg to rise. Bringing it through knee to nose, lowering through your hips. Exhale, push back. Inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, push back. Inhale, knee to nose, hold it here. Bring that foot in between your hands and come up into warrior 2. Making sure your heels are in alignment here, pushing your front knee open, making sure that knee stays over your front heel. Your arms come nice and wide, spreading through the fingertips. Take your eye gaze over the front fingertips and make sure that you're engaged with your arms and your legs here. Straightening the front leg, heel toe your back foot in slightly and come down into triangle pose. Opening up through the chest. And if it's okay for you to do so, looking up at your fingertips. Bending through your front knee here generously, coming up into a half moon pose. keeping the shoulders stacked and pointing through that foot that's lifted, opening up through the hips. And gently come to the top of your mat. Inhale, arms to rise, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, place your hands on the mat and come back to plank. Chaturanga. Inhale through to up dog. Exhale, push back into a downward facing dog. Bringing the right foot forward once again, grounding through the back heel, coming up into warrior two, and reversing your warrior. Moving forward to your extended side angle. Then bringing your left hand to the mat, coming up onto the toes of your back foot, and come into your easy twist. Right hand comes up, eye gaze to the right fingertips. Then bringing that right foot back and coming into your side plank. Another wobble here, don't worry, we all go there. Good. Bringing your right hand to the mat. Chaturanga, upward dog, and downward facing dog. Take 2 deep breaths here. Moving over to the left side, inhale the left leg to rise. Coming forward, knee to nose, lowering through the hips. Exhale, push back. Inhale, come forward, knee to nose. Exhale, push back. Inhale, left leg comes forward and hold. Place that foot in between your hands and come up into your warrior two. And the engagement in your arms here, you want to feel like you're holding something small in between your shoulder blades. Staying strong in your legs. Gently straighten the front leg, heel toe your back foot in, just a few, and then come into a triangle pose on the left hand side. The right arm comes to the sky, eye gaze to the fingertips. Generous bend in your front knee, coming into half moon pose. Opening through your hips, keeping the shoulders nice and stacked. And pointing your toes to the back of the mat. Perfect. Come through to the top of your mat. Inhale, arms to rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale through to halfway lift. Exhale, place your hands on the mat, hop back to plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, and back into your downward facing dog. Leg comes forward once again, back up into your warrior two, grounding through the back heel, and reverse your warrior. Moving forward for your extended side angle. Creating one straight line from your toe to your fingertips. Bringing your right hand to the mat and taking your left arm up to the sky for your easy twist. Staying strong in the legs here. Bringing that left foot back to side plank. Left hand comes back to the mat. High plank, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale through to up dog. Exhale, push back into your downward facing dog. Moving back to the right hand side, lift up through the right leg and bring it forward to the top of the mat. Coming up into a high lunge, inhale the arms to rise, and exhale, bring your shoulders down around away from the ears. Engage in your core and staying strong in your legs. Bringing your hands into prayer at your heart center, move to the top of your mat, big toes to touch, energy through the heels, and sit back into your chair pose. Good. Come to rise and bring your right hand to your right foot. Left hand comes forward and we'll gently move through to your dancer's pose. Coming back through to center, hands at heart's prayer. Lifting up through that right knee, hug it into the chest, point your toes. Grab your big toe with your peace fingers and straighten out through the right leg. Moving back into your warrior three, push the energy through your heel and point the toes to the mat, coming into a nice flat back. Grounding that back foot, lifting your left leg up into a three-legged dog, opening up through your hip this time. All the way over, grounding your left foot, we'll come into your wild thing. Push up through the hips. Placing your left hand back to the mat, lifting the left leg up into your three-legged dog. And then bringing that forward to the top of the mat. Lower the right knee and tuck the toes. Coming into a quad stretch, left hand comes to your foot and then lower down through your hips. Feel free to stay on your hand here or come to your forearm, whichever is comfortable for you. And your eye gaze can either be to the back of the mat or just in front of you to your right palm, so long as your neck stays elongated. Coming back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale through to up dog. Exhale, push back into your downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up into three-legged dog and bring the foot forward to the top of the mat in between the hands. Inhale the arms to rise for your high lunge, and exhale, bring your shoulders down around away from your ears. Staying strong in the legs and engage in your core. Bringing your hands into prayer at your heart center. Coming to the top of your mat, big toes to touch. Energy through your heels, sit down into your chair pose. And come up to center. Bringing your left hand to your left foot, right hand comes forward, and gently move through dancer's pose on the opposite side. Back to center, take a deep breath here. And bring your left knee hug it into your chest, pointing through the toes. Grabbing your big toe with the peace fingers, straightening out through the left leg. And bringing it back to your warrior 3. Pushing the energy through your left heel, pointing through the left toes down to the mat, and moving through into a nice flat back. Grounding through the left foot, bring the right leg up into three-legged dog and open up through your hip. Taking that right foot to the ground, coming into your wild thing on the opposite side. Push up through the hips and keeping your chest nice and open. Right hand comes back to the mat. Left leg up for your three-legged dog. And bring it through in between your hands at the top of the mat. Ground your knee and untuck the toes. I've done the same leg here, so I'm just going to quickly swap that out. Ground the knee, untuck the toes, and then come into your quad stretch. Right hand comes to the left foot, lowering through the hips. And again, eye gaze here is for what's comfortable for you, so long as your neck stays nice and elongated. Bringing your right hand back to the mat, coming into high plank. Inhale, exhale chaturanga, inhale through to up dog, and exhale push back into your downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up to three-legged dog, and exhale bring it forward over to the left. Planting the right foot to the ground for your laying triangle, bringing your right hand slightly more into center and lifting up through the left arm. Breathe nice and deep here. Bringing the left hand back to the mat and coming into pigeon pose. So you want to bring your right leg forward, making sure that your hips stay nice and square. You shouldn't have any bad feeling in your right knee here, but if you do, please feel free to come into child's pose. Nothing is meant to hurt in yoga. If you can't breathe deeply or if it hurts, you've gone too far and the pose isn't for you. Coming back to your hands, and then come through to your downward facing dog. Lifting up through your left leg, bringing it forward, over to the right hand side for your laying triangle. Right hand to rise, and breathe deep in this twist. Right hand comes back to the mat, and then coming into pigeon on the left hand side, hips stay nice and square, and with your upper body feel free to stay on your hands, forearms, or you can melt down completely to the mat, and once again breathe deep. coming back onto your hands and pushing back into your downward facing dog. Taking a good few breaths here, feeling gratitude for the body and the practice we've just done together. Bring your knees to the ground, untuck your toes, and we're coming into your headstand. So you want to clasp your hands and then walk your feet towards your body, coming up into your headstand as you wish. Engage the core here, breathing deep. It will help with your stability and your balance. Obviously not mine today. Coming back through to your child's pose. And we'll finish the practice here today. So thank you for joining me. Have a great day. And I'll see you all next Sunday.